What's going on, boys and girls? Yes, DDG is back finally, but let's not make a big deal out of that right now, shall we? We have a lot of important shit to cover, and I'm not going to waste your time with any of that stuff right now. So it's been an exciting couple of weeks for gaming, and 3 long years since the last Tokyo Game Show in-person event happened. Now, while that's super exciting, I honestly did not watch even 1 minute of it, if I'm being perfectly honest. But it does seem, from what I've read and what I've heard, that there was something for just about everyone showcased in the show, which is good. And yes, going forward, if I'm going to continue to do these types of videos, it would obviously be a smart idea if I actually watch these events so that I could talk about them better. It might be a good idea, so I'll try to do that. Yeah, because I also did not watch Nintendo's Direct or Sony's State of Play, which kind of makes sense because I don't have a PlayStation, so why would I watch Sony's State of Play? But I do care about Nintendo and Nintendo Switch stuff, so I wanted to watch it, I just didn't have time for it, unfortunately. But anyway, don't worry, I have done my research, at least enough to warrant making this video. So Xbox was featured at the Tokyo Game Show. Again, Nintendo did their Nintendo Direct stream, and Sony did their Sony State of Play stream. So at the Tokyo Game Show, Capcom had announced some stuff, such as the Mega Man Battle Legacy Network. The Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. Sorry, I got a script right there I'm trying to read. Spoiler alert. Ubisoft, Sega, and Konami announced some stuff too. Yeah, as I mentioned, I really didn't have time to watch the shows. I'm more strapped for time than James Rolfe apparently, which is kind of odd considering I don't have any children. I do have a girlfriend though, who I love very much, and I spend a lot of time with her, but aside from that, I don't have much going on, so where is all of my time going? I have no idea, to be honest. That's a good question. So lots of games were announced, lots of exciting things, but for the purposes of this video, we're just going to be focusing on the games that are on my radar and the games that I care about. I'm sure that there are plenty of games out there that are not on my radar that I would love and enjoy, but again, my time is limited, as is yours, which is why we're not going to waste any more time and we're going to jump right into the video. I went online, I looked at the lists of things that were announced, and ones that stood out to me, that's what we're going to focus on today. So let's not waste any more time. Again, hopefully by the time this video comes out, this stuff will still be relevant. Who knows? Doing the best I can here. Anyway, let's roll into the rest of the video. Let's start the scripted stuff. Let's do it. 007 GoldenEye. Honestly, the only reason I am even mentioning this game is because 1, I come from the generation of gamers who actually played this gem back in the days when it first came out on the N64, and 2, it seems to be a pretty popular and exciting release for both old schoolers and more modern day players right now. People have been begging for a remake, remaster, or re-release of this game, and it's finally happening. But for some reason, I could not care less right now. More about that in a sec. GoldenEye was most definitely a great and memorable experience to be sure, and I remember spending hours upon hours playing it with my brother and best friend James in grueling multiplayer matches. We had tons of fun, and the game will always hold a special place in my heart. The sheer number of different guns to use and levels to play were mind-blowing, and at the time, the graphics were actually impressive, believe it or not. But one of the most standout parts of the game is its soundtrack. There is no need for me to spend any time talking about it because everyone knows the tracks are legendary and iconic for this game. Why don't I care about this right now? I simply can't stand to look at this game anymore, I'll be honest. Which is odd because I grew up on 16-bit consoles and N64, Dreamcast, and PlayStation stuff. But for me, some games simply just don't hold up, and unless this is a complete overhaul of the game, which I do not believe this is, I most likely won't be reliving the experience. I should also mention, it is being released for Nintendo Switch and Xbox, but as far as I know, it only has multiplayer on Switch, which is kind of a bummer for anyone who doesn't own one. Pretty cool that it's happening, but not exactly a must-play for me right now. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. This is a game that doesn't even need my coverage or opinion on the matter, but I have no choice. It's fucking Breath of the Wild 2. It has been over 5 years since the first one came out, and I still have not beaten this game. I have put it down and picked it back up more times than I can count, but the more I come back to it, and the more I play it, the more I fall in love with it. It is most certainly in my top 5, top 10 most beloved game of all time. My brother and I have talked about this game before on the channel, gushing over it, and I will reiterate what I have previously said. Breath of the Wild is an undeniable masterpiece. Not perfect, but close. The beautiful and massive world Nintendo created on a very underpowered and limited system is a feat all on its own. There are so many side quests and different things to do that you can stretch this game out quite a bit, as I have been doing. My expectations for Tears of the Kingdom is nothing short of greatness. I can imagine it's just going to be more Breath of the Wild, but just better and more polished up. Beating the first one before the new one drops is absolutely on my to-do list. There isn't much to be critiqued in this reveal trailer, but I am sure the game will deliver on every level for all of us to fall in love with all over again. Biomorph. This one might just be beneficial to anyone who manages to see this video, because when I checked the list of Nintendo Direct announcements, I did not see the game listed. Anyone who knows me or watches this channel understands my love for 2D side-scrollers, and this one has most definitely caught my attention. I hate comparing everything to Hollow Knight, but it does give me similar vibes. 2D games like Cuphead or Hollow Knight that take on a unique and beautiful look catch my eye, and this game absolutely looks gorgeous. The action gives me Dead Cells vibes, fast-paced and fun. Biomorph looks challenging and the world captivating. Apparently, you can take control over bosses and enemies you fight, with them coming back even stronger and more menacing. It's another puzzle-solving platformer, but I love the genre and can never get enough of them. Give me 2D platformers and Metroidvanias any day of the week. I wish I could give you more information, but all I have is that the game is slated for a 2023 release date. The trailer was dropped a little over a month ago and might have flown under people's radars. So keep an eye out for this one, because I know I will be downloading it or buying it physical the moment I can. Street Fighter VI. Open world Street Fighter? Yes, please. Finally, the franchise is trying something new and different, and right when I'm getting back into the swing of things. I have been playing a fair amount of Street Fighter my whole life, so I like to consider myself somewhat of an expert on the matter. Recently, I have been putting a decent amount of time into 5, and it has me all set and ready to go for this one. Street Fighter has always been great, and it seems to more or less improve game after game in different varying ways. 4 being the most complete fighting experience, and 5 being the better looking game. But this one might just become the best of all time in the series, if this trailer is any indication. Now, you can at long last create your own character and literally place yourself in the world to become your own street fighting badass. This unlocks so much potential and playability in a fighting game. In addition to a single player story experience, you have modes from previous games in addition to a world tour mode. The game just looks so clean and polished, it actually gives me chills watching this trailer. The moves and attacks our favorite fighters are pulling off here just look so fluid and pretty to watch. Pacing in fighting games is a very important thing, and it seems like the speed in which the characters are moving is more in line with Street Fighter IV. One of the biggest gripes my best friend Chris has with 5 is that the pacing is a bit slower or clunkier, if you will, and that the physics engine and combo timing is a bit off. It's pretty much whoever attacks and lands a hit first wins the exchange. But in Street Fighter VI, I can already see an improvement in the flow of the game. It seems like they have learned the sweet spot for how fast the gameplay should move and perform, and it just looks perfect to me. This is the most excited I have been for a fighting game in a very long time, and you can be sure I'm gonna play the shit out of this one. You hear me, Chris? You better bring your A game, cause I'm coming for you, buddy. Street Fighter VI is slated for a release in 2023. Not soon enough. Tekken VIII. From one favorite fighting game to another. Aside from Street Fighter, the Tekken series has always been one of my most played and enjoyed franchises. Tekken VII was one of the most groundbreaking and full fighting game experiences I've ever come to know and behold. Honestly, I had an entire script written up for why I feel Tekken VII is one of the best, if not the best game in the whole goddamn genre. But it would appear I will have to put that one on hold, because after many years, we have number 8 coming our way. Tekken 8's trailer looks to be actual gameplay, and it is certainly an impressive leap forward on the graphics side of things. Tekken has always looked good to me, but my god, is this new one stunning. What I have always loved the most about these games is that I feel like I'm more connected to them, because oftentimes the moves you see the characters performing can be done in real life. There are all kinds of videos out there where real-life fighters mimic the moves of their favorite characters. There is just a certain level of groundedness and reality mixed with over-the-top flashy moves, a perfect blend of realness combined with impossibility that works so well. Furthermore, the Tekken games have always had more meat on the bone, if you will. Other modes that make the game worth playing outside of the typical 1 vs 1 experience, such as Tekken Bowling or Tekken Force mode. Tekken 7 had one of the deepest cinematic archives of any fighting game ever. The attention to detail Bandai Namco puts into this series is simply jaw-dropping, and for the longest time, it has been, in my humble opinion, that the franchise is simply on another level compared to everyone else, with Street Fighter coming in a close second. Hopefully, these two new games will be on an even keel with one another going forward. Unfortunately, it would seem that Tekken 8 is an exclusive to the PlayStation 5 upon release, which might just be tempting enough for me to buy the console. Bring me more Tekken now. Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion. Ask me what is my most beloved RPG franchise of all time, and the words Final Fantasy will come out of my mouth. I had the privilege of playing Crisis Core way back when it was first released on the PSP so many moons ago in 2007. Unfortunately, I never beat it, and did try to replay the game a few times using PSP ROMs. I remember so little about the game now, but I do recall having a fun time with it, and it was an exciting way to get back into the world of Final Fantasy VII. Actually, not remembering it well is a good thing, as I am most certainly going to want to replay it this way. Here, we have an enhanced, updated version of the game in HD, which looks much improved, and the cinematics look clean, clear, vibrant, and beautiful. I do love Cloud Strife as a character, but I feel like Zack just has more personality and life to him, making him for a far more interesting story experience. This game is perfect for the Nintendo Switch, and honestly, it's great to see a Final Fantasy game back on a Nintendo console where it belongs. As I read the comments section for this trailer, the game is getting quite a lot of love and embrace, and it seems like for the most part, people are quite excited to see Crisis Core being brought back in a proper remaster. This game definitely came out of left field, and I am here for it. One thing I do remember is my brother telling me the game was a little on the short side. He played it far more than I did, and I'm sure he beat it. Wish he was here now for his point of view on the game, but unfortunately, you're just stuck with me. Actually, I have nothing more to say on the matter. Final Fantasy VII is great, Crisis Core was cool, and I will be downloading it or buying it physical the moment it drops. Soldier First Class incoming. Sonic Frontiers. The Sonic games have always been near and dear to my heart. Yes, I still remember getting my brand new Sega Genesis at the super young age of 7 or 8, whatever it was. Little baby Dave playing the original Sonic game in his grandfather's bedroom for hours upon hours. Little did I know that I would be playing those games for the rest of my life, and I'm not complaining. Sonic has entered the 3D realm a few times since then, but this game actually looks like it could be good for a change. This is my kind of game right here. A large world to explore with flexible gameplay and lots of fun abilities for Sonic to use. There is a good sense of speed I'm getting from watching him run around the world map, and the gameplay looks exhilarating. And the fact that he can use defensive blocking maneuvers and combo attacks to take down enemies will make for a far broader gameplay experience. I mean, what else can I say? The game looks great. The game looks beautiful, and hopefully it will have a kick-ass soundtrack to go along with it, as Sonic games typically have rockin' tunes, which is very important to me. We won't have to wait long for this one, so be ready for some Sonic the Hedgehog action-packed adventures. Get the rings! Get the rings!
Okay guys, so I have a last minute addition here for you. This has nothing to do with Tokyo Game Show, Nintendo Direct, or Sony State of Play. This is something I'm seeing on NintendoLife.com. So switching over to NintendoLife.com, what we have is Trinity Fusion. The Metroid Dread vibes are strong in action RPG platformer Trinity Fusion. So anybody that knows me knows I love Metroid games and Castlevania games. Anything in the Metroidvania 2D side-scrolling universe will definitely catch my eye and I'll be interested in. So I have not seen anything for this game. I have not watched any trailers. I have not seen any screenshots. So let's check it out together. All right, and let's read what they have to say here. So indie developer Angry Mod Games has announced its upcoming action RPG platformer Trinity Fusion. Currently slated for release on PC and consoles in 2023, we have not had full confirmation that this includes the Switch at the time of writing, but it's looking highly likely at least, so they don't even know if it's going to be available on Switch. Featuring high-tech futuristic environments and robotic creatures, the overall vibe of the debut trailer definitely reminds us heavily of Metroid Dread. Heck, the first enemies that show up look a lot like the Emmys, right? So we've got some screenshots down here, but I'm just going to jump into the trailer. I'm going to mute myself, so there's no feedback. And let's take a look at this thing together, and hopefully it'll be cool. Well, that was interesting. That looked pretty cool. Yeah, so it looks like you can choose multiple characters, and you've got some what appeared to be air juggling, some attacks, juggling the enemies in the air. Definitely looks a lot like Metroid Dread. It looks like it plays a lot like Metroid Dread. The graphics look very similar to Metroid Dread, so I can see why they are saying that it resembles Metroid Dread. I mean, what can we say based on trailers, right? But that looks cool. I'm looking forward to seeing more on Trinity Fusion. I hope this is something that you would enjoy as viewers for my channel. So I'm just trying to bring more awareness to games that look cool to me. So that looks like a good one. So I don't want to drag this out too long, but this was something else I really felt like I needed to add for the show here. So I hope you guys are looking forward to this one.
Well, that about wraps up this first episode of DDG's Full Blast Gaming Newscast. There was so much more I could have covered here. So many games I wanted to add, like Octopath Traveler 2. The past few weeks were huge for gaming, and I legit put this whole thing together in about a day. Rush, rush, rush. Hopefully, I will further improve my presentation skills as I continue to do more of these. I'm thinking once a month or so, I will try to drop one of these episodes. And during the month leading up to, I'll put together a list of important gaming news and upcoming titles. What games did you see at the shows that you're excited for? I would love to hear about all the upcoming titles that have caught your eye. And let me know about other games on the horizon I should check out that I might like, and perhaps I will cover them in the next episode. There are so many great titles both existing and coming up, it's hard to keep track of them all. Also, I am always looking for critiquing and feedback on what I can do better to improve making content, so please feel free to give me your thoughts. This here marks our return to the YouTube gaming content battle arena as we fight to the death with all the other YouTubers who think that they have what it takes to do this shit right. Be sure to like and subscribe and blah blah blah, yada yada yada, and keep it here for more badass content from your old school Double Dragon brothers, Dave and Dan. Peace out, fools.